Okay, so now we're going to look at equivalent fractions, and we did a lesson on equivalent fractions already. So this is just a refresher for those of you who need a quick reminder. So when we look at the word equivalent fractions, we know an equivalent fraction are fractions that are different, the numbers are different, but the value of the fraction is the same. So what the fraction is worth is the same. So we have two fractions or three or four. The numbers in the fractions are different, but when we look at what the fraction is worth, they are the same. All right, so let us look at this worksheet. This worksheet says 1/6 is equal to something over 24. We're looking for an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 24 that is equivalent to 1/6. All right, how are we going to do that? Now, first, let us look, because we have the two denominators, we're going to look at the two denominators first. And we are trying to find out what the numerator is. All right, so we know, how is 6 related to 24? I know that 24 is larger than 6. So I have to multiply 6 by something to be able to get 24. I know if I multiply 6 by 4, I will get 24. 6 fours are 24. So I will have to do exactly the same thing to the numerator. I have to multiply it by 4. 1 times 4 is going to give us 4. So the equivalent fraction of 1/6 that has a denominator of 24 will be 4 24ths. All right, let us look at this one over here. This one over here, we have, it's the same thing, but we have it the other way around. If you notice, we now have this fraction over here. So this is the fraction that we know, the entire fraction, 42 over 63. And we would like to know what is the equivalent fraction that has a denominator of 9. So what is the relationship between 63 and 9? Now we're noticing that 63 to 9, we're getting smaller. So we can't multiply. We would have to divide. Just a reminder, once we're working with equivalent fractions, the two operations that we can do are multiply and divide. We cannot do add or subtract. What can we divide 63 by to get us 9? And because we know our timetables well, we know that we can divide it by 7. 63 divided by 7 is going to give us 9. All right, so that means that we have to do the same thing for the numerator. We have to divide 42 by 7. And we all know that 42 divided by 7 is going to give us 6. All right, let us look at another one. 4/8, what is the equivalent fraction that has a denominator of 24? We know from moving from 8 to 24, we're getting larger, the number is getting larger, therefore we will have to multiply. So what do we need to multiply to get 8 to 24? We need to multiply it by 3. 8 threes are 24. That means that we will have to multiply the 4 by 3 as well. And 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, very easy. Now the numbers sometimes get a little large, like here, this example here. We have a fraction 18 over 25, 18 25ths, and we want to know what is the equivalent fraction that has a numerator of 126, what will the denominator be? Now you notice they can either ask you for the numerator or the denominator, but it is the same. All right, so the question is saying, what can we multiply 18 by to get 126? What can we multiply 18 by to get 126? When I think about it, I'm going to do a little thinking in my head, and I said, okay, that's a big number. I know that if I multiply 18 by 10, I'm going to get 180, which is bigger than 126. I don't want to use 10. I need to use something that's a little bit less, much less than 126. Let me try 18 times 7. I'm going to put it here so that you can see 18 times 7. 7 eights are 56. 6 carry the 5. 7 ones are 7, and 5 is 12. So we are correct. For me to get 126, I would have to multiply by 7. All right? So 18 times 7 gives us that 126. That means we have to multiply 25 by 7. And 25 by 7 is going to give us, let me write it over here for those of us who need to do that. 25 times 7. 7 fives are 35. 5, oops, carry the 3. 7 twos are 14. Plus 3 is 17. 175. So the fraction would be 126 over 175. All right, so these are a few examples. I've given you a worksheet. So if you need to rewatch the video, rewatch it slowly and take your time and then proceed to work on the worksheet. Okay.